Welcome to the Take It Home podcast. The podcast so bad we really should just take it home. I am one of your hosts, Doc Simmons. You can find me on all social media at DocSimmons17. Tonight I'm joined by our regular crew. I will give the hot tag to my partner. Go ahead and introduce yourself.
Yes, sir. It's the Outlaw Zach Hendricks. Find me on all social media at Z Hendricks Brand. And if you love us as much as we love each other, you can find Country Air at Country Air Official for Facebook and Twitter. No, Facebook or Instagram, Country Air Brand for Twitter. And then I will pass it along to, let's say, one of the wisest men in the group.
Yes, yes, he would be our wise man. He would be our Paul Heyman.
Well, what's up, guys? I'm Ref Perch. You can find me at Perch XLV, # for the Ref Brand, and Waffles Take It Home podcast.
Yes, sir. Waffles abound. Be sure to like, share, subscribe, all that. What's the waffle report looking like this week, fellas?
Frozen blueberry Eggos. I had a few over the week with Thanksgiving being a thing. The niece and nephew were in the house, and there were some Eggos about, and I definitely got down on some.
Very nice, very nice. I found some more. Oh, you weren't here, Perch, but I did have some more of those Belgian waffle cookies. So that was right? Pick and save, yep. So I did have me some more of those.
Did you try the syrup on it?
No, I didn't. They were still at work, so I didn't bring any syrup to work. I got to do that still. I got all the breakfast packets of syrup here. It would be perfect to just dunk those in them. So probably gonna have to do that.
I need to know how they taste the syrup.
But yes, very good pickup. Go to your pick and save, see if they have them. Had some pancakes too. Pancakes were very good. Cinnamon raisin from the original Pancake House. Can't go wrong.
I haven't had no waffles or pancakes, but what I have had, probably not the best for you, but Taco Bell breakfast. AM Crunch Wrap. I don't know if you ever had Taco Bell's breakfast, but if you haven't,
big fan of the AM Crunch Wrap.
You are?
K-Dot is.
Oh, dude, phenomenal. Steak. What'd she get?
I think she gets chicken.
I get steak, but man, dude, eggs. They have that sauce they put on the quesadilla, and then that hash brown
sauce.
Yeah, dude, so good. I highly recommend if you like Taco Bell and you like breakfast, you haven't tried it. I mean, it's like $5 for one of those AM Crunch Wrap meals.
Yeah, she's a big fan. She was eating those for a while. No, she got sausage. Is there one that comes with sausage?
Yeah, it's like sausage, bacon, or steak.
Yeah, I think she gets the sausage one.
The only one I wouldn't recommend is bacon. I feel like it's you need to get double bacon. You need to get the meat you need a good amount of meat to survive, to make equal with the egg and hash brown.
Yeah, I always feel like when you get a where bacon is the focus meat of a meal, it's never enough.
No, it's never. They always chop it up into bacon bits.
Yeah, and then it doesn't mix well. It's not a good primary meat in meals.
No, it's definitely bacon's important, but just not the main meal.
Yeah. All right. Enough discussions about the importance of bacon. Perch, you got a banger for us this week?
Yeah, banger of the week. We're gonna keep up the theme, going back to some good winter jams.
Oh, I thought we were gonna keep up the theme of bacon. I was very excited.
Well, this song is cooking. I gotta say that.
Oh, sizzling, maybe.
They always sizzling. None other than, we're in the business of storytelling, and I like a good song that tells a good story, one that can get you emotionally invested, let alone just a great, you hear it and it catches the ear right away. And then you hear it, 5 times, 10 times, then you start paying attention to the story. Just a song that you can play a million times over and it never gets old. And I love it every time. Renee, Mr. Cheeks.
Yo, Lost Boys. I know Zach probably hasn't heard that one. But oh, baby, touch my
Renee.
soul.
What a song. If that doesn't paint a picture for you.
Yeah, that I always been a big fan of, especially like I always felt like in that era, a lot of rappers did these story love songs, and I love them all. I love them all.
Yeah, it really is. It's a great story, and just it paints a good picture, and listening to it, those love songs and the struggles
Yep.
and the hardships, it's like watching a movie, reading a book, listening to a song like like Renee.
Yeah, no, that's one of those when I get into a groove with it, and I'm feeling the struggle, and K Dot just does not get it. It's like, we don't struggle that much. Yes, we do. All right. It's like, let me be hard.
Yeah, it hits me especially in the winter time. It's snow falling, windows up, comfortable car. A song like that really hits home.
Yeah, pretty sure that might have been on my Spotify list for last year. I'll
definitely a refined banger.
Yeah, no, I definitely go through phases where that is on repeat. That's a good one. That's a good one. So yes, I will happily add that to the Banger of the Week podcast that you can find down at in the description. Go ahead, check that out. Some of y'all need to listen to Renee. Some of y'all need some of that in your life. But that was a good one, Perch.
Yep, that one hit over the weekend. Definitely hit the spot.
Good. All right. Why don't we talk about what we watched in wrestling this past week? Since you were kind of out of that banger of the week, why don't you tell us what you watched, Zach?
All right, yeah. I did. I was able to catch a little bit of SmackDown, but not much. I watched what was it? I watched Sami Zayn shock everyone by winning that battle royal. And it's crazy to think in 2021, us all, like, I don't know how you guys were, but me as a child, I loved Jeff Hardy and just how he's still super over, just super great, and just, I don't know, it's crazy to think.
I was thinking about this maybe like a couple of weeks ago. Jeff Hardy is such an underrated career. Even for how much love he still gets, it is still super underrated.
Bro, like we did Halloween and Val looked at me and she's like, did you ever think you would see like a little 8-year-old kid dressed up as Jeff Hardy still today for Halloween? Because like Eli dressed up and I was like, you don't think about it. You're like, damn, like super over.
Been in the East since the mid-90s.
Dude, fun fact, he actually I watched some of the story. He actually got kicked out of his high school wrestling team because he did dark matches for WWE and he was counted as a professional, so he couldn't do amateur wrestling no more.
Yo.
Yeah. They counted him like, oh, well, you're actually a professional now, so you can't do it. You can't join.
Yeah, you're getting paid for it. Yes, technically. Though that must have been before Vince McMahon's meeting with Congress.
Exactly, because Gable Stevenson's out here killing it in college.
Because that's the thing, it can't be considered a sport anymore. So now you're just getting paid for a job.
Exactly. I watched that. Plan on watching Elevation tonight. I'm really excited to watch. They call him Trenton Storm, but looking forward to watching Grayson Storm versus Jay Lethal. Like Storm, just on the indie scene alone, is right now killing it. I remember like meeting him when he was the Green Kid gimmick, but like just watching him now, like always has big time matches and always delivers. So it's pretty cool that like all the guys in the Chicago area, he was chosen to go with Jay Lethal because Jay Lethal is just amazing. I watched a little bit, but I haven't finished it. Ring of Honor had a match, Jay Lethal versus EC3. super technical, really good. I still have it. Still need to finish that.
I love the narrative EC3 is creating with everybody on social media.
Oh yeah,
Now he's killing it. If you're not following him, follow EC3. He's doing good stuff.
yeah. Plan on watching Vic Caprice match. I haven't got time to. I haven't watched that yet, but playing catch up today with work. But definitely plan on watching Vic Capri. Him versus Tony Nese is just going to be a. I feel like those guys are both the same stature and all that, so it's going to be very fun to watch that. And the only other thing I've watched, I mean, it's not wrestling related, but anyone else watch that new South Park?
No, I have not watched that yet.
Mm-mm.
I am excited for it though. But yeah,
Cartman, Cartman, man. I'm not gonna spoil it. Just
okay.
definitely one like I would highly recommend watching.
All right. Yep. Okay, I can get on that. Perch, what you been watching?
And start off that week with that Dynamite CM Punk coming out. Good old fashioned. It's clobbering time. Love it. Comes out and MJF interrupts him. They go back and forth for about 20 minutes.
Yep, a
And
classic Perch promo.
The fact that it was a Chicago crowd in his corner, I mean, that was awesome. I really enjoyed it. And MJF, if gonna beat him on the microphone.
No, yeah, they were both throwing bombs. It was like a very much just classic like school lunch going on each other, not really a wrestling promo.
No, I was my
Yeah.
favorite thing was when he's like, "You don't know how to shut the hell up that you realize Britt Baker took over your spot as one of the four pillars." And I was like,
Oh yeah, that one was good.
I was like, I legit thought because I did watch that. My bad, pressure. I thought they were gonna scrap the QT match because how much time those guys had, but they still did the match too, which is cool.
Yeah,
Sorry.
that was a good match.
Yeah, it was good and a good lead in. But just good atmosphere created, to enjoy pro wrestling. Whether you flip to it as a fan or not a fan, if you hear a crowd just roaring like that, I mean, you can't help but be interested. Maybe that's how I got interested back in the 90s, flipping through WCW and WWF, and there's a crowd just going nuts to everything that these guys are doing.
Oh yeah, no, that's like I know I've probably brought it up before on the podcast, but AEW's getting those big crowd reactions that are even having like my non-wrestling fans friends ask me like, hey, what's up with this? So yeah, like this is that
like
nostalgia.
Oh
yeah. The line of it was when he said, "You want to sing a song, Maxwell?"
Yeah, that was a good one.
Just a good old veteran. Love it. The match I really enjoyed was Eddie Kingston against Red Death from that Friday night Rampage.
Yeah.
I was looking forward to that matchup big time. A couple of guys who I've worked with AAW, and that match was straight out of Chicago wrestling. Just hard hitting the entire time. Two pro wrestlers going at it who could be in any era. Eddie selling that leg and selling that knee better than he's ever sold it before.
Give me that leg heat, baby. Give me that leg heat.
Oh, it was great, and just a great match overall. I really enjoyed it, and the other bit was Dante signing with FTW.
Yep,
taking those chips.
God damn,
stepped over the table.
Like I would have taken those chips too, bro.
How funny. That was great. He steps over the table. Just legitimately
I noticed that. It was like,
over the table.
That was extra.
Of all the contract signings there's ever been, I'm sure that's been done before, but
I don't think
off the wall.
That's one of those where just I feel everything just created this perfect tornado of awesome with the chips and Dante being athletic as he is to be able to step over that table, and Ricky Stark's facial reactions. Just
and Leo left in the dust.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
That was a good one. And just the intrigue, because Peel the Curtains, if you don't know, that's a heel faction.
Oh yeah, it's a heel faction, and that's a boardroom business being done.
Yep.
That's old school pro wrestling right there.
And if you look
Tony
at it,
Schiavone.
we talk about, he brought up the 4 pillars of AEW. Hobbs is probably that next. I don't know what's after the pillars, but I would say after that, they're looking at Hobbs as like somebody that they're looking at as a top heel. They kind of want Dante as a top face at some point. So it's just very interesting how they're going about it.
Mm-hmm. And really enjoyed that setting with all the players involved and even Taz in there, just all the experience amongst that boardroom.
Yeah.
To see a 2021 pro wrestling boardroom business being done.
Yeah.
It's not necessarily happening in the squared circle, but that's what I love about pro wrestling is those kind of segments, that full story mode.
Yeah, those times where wrestling can be anything.
Oh, I love it. Harkens back to the old Crockett days and signing championships to territories and stuff. And he's eating chips out of his hand and jumps over the table.
If somebody brought a bag of potato chips to a signing, I might be more inclined if it was my favorite. And it was like, man, these guys know me. Yeah, he's like, I would be more inclined to sign. I get it. I too watched the Dynamites and the Rampage. Those were all good. I've been getting back into watching some championship wrestling, but caught a little bit of from Hollywood, from Atlanta, and from Memphis. I've been watching Memphis and Atlanta because a lot of our friends are on there, like Juicy and TSF and Young Goats, people that we want to wrestle. So I've been watching a lot of those lately. It's just been some good. There's a lot of good, and that's the thing with that boardroom. And was watching MLW earlier today, the Thanksgiving special, and NWA doing big things. It is a beautiful time of like studio wrestling. I am so happy. You can get it, in bits from the bigger companies. A lot of these smaller companies are doing it more consistently. Like, oh man, last week's episode of MLW, I loved every backstage or interview segment. It was all good. Alex Kane and Calvin Takeman. Kane cost him a spot in the Opera Cup finals. Calvin Takeman is, coming at him backstage, held by like 10 security guards. And it's just Alex Kane on the couch. I'm reaching for you, brother. I'm reaching for you. I'm reaching for you. You don't want it. It was comedy gold. Gnarls Garvin going off on the promo. Great. Good matches on that one. I'm very happy with a lot of this week. I was very happy with a lot of things not in the ring. There are a lot of good backstage segments and things building. Like I said, been watching championship wrestling from Atlanta. If you've been watching the whole Marty Bell and Danny Jordan, that was good this past week. It's just been really good. I've been paying attention to the segments. It's
Bro, sidetrack. Alex Kane. I don't know if you remember him, but I don't know if Bro, I remember seeing him like back when he was one of the hype guys for ARW Fox's entrance.
Mm-hmm.
And just seeing him now, it's like he looks like a whole different person.
No, yeah, he he put some muscle on.
No, not even muscle. Like he grew. Like he looked like a little boy going out there, hyping it up, all cool. And then when you see him, he looks like a straight badass. Like,
Well, that's also going from wearing like Tim's and cargo pants and
yeah, I get
huge
that. It's just
jacket
like
to a singlet.
every time I see him, like even with like that, now that he's the national champ, every time I look, I'm like, man, like I just can't believe like the first time I met you, like he's not like if people ever meet him, he's about my height. Like he's not,
But I mean, TV makes you look bigger.
yeah, but just him, man, like it's just like a whole different animal. Like
I mean, that's the thing. We've run into guys who've been on, WWE, and very few of them are as big as you think they are.
yeah, I get that. It's just like him though, like that one's always one. Like when I see him now, it's like,
Yeah,
man,
that one hits a little bit more home.
I remember you were the hype guy. Now,
Yeah.
like look at you, you're a bad motherfucker.
Yeah, that one definitely hits more home. But
You know, like when he does these segments like this, like where he's like, I'm reaching for you, brother. You're like, you look like this bad motherfucker, but everyone forgets like you're goofy too.
yeah, yep.
I appreciate that.
No, yeah, it was good. It was good. I think he got some good not in ring shine last week on MLW, which it's always good to see when wrestlers can show other facets of their abilities.
Oh yeah.
All right. Why don't we talk about what we did last week? I know if you watched or if you listened, because why would you watch or whatever, however you taken this podcast, you listened to us last week, we gave a preview about the fact that we were all at Bondo Lucha. Since that's the one thing that we did together, why don't we start with that? Why don't you talk about your experience, Zach?
Yes, sir. I made my Mondo Lucha debut. I started with a full bottle of whiskey. I ended with an empty bottle of whiskey. The rest is about a blur. I had a chance to become the number one contender for the Mondo Lucha title. Unfortunately, probably didn't make the wisest decision. Slammed a whole bottle of whiskey before taking on the two freshest guys in the battle royal.
I can see how that could be a good idea, though.
I will say, it was fun. Mondo's definitely a different experience. Like, the moments were there. I was almost the first one eliminated on accident. Again, probably shouldn't be drinking the whiskey.
Mm-hmm.
Everything went well though. I had to remember what I wore as a singles guy. That was one thing. Like, hey, Country Air is not here, but we were there in spirit. So I was like, what do I wear again? So I had to find some. Bust out the old leather jacket. So that was cool.
Yeah.
Had a good time. I'm not want to say too much because the rest of you guys were on it. You guys have those are your moments as well. So I don't want to take away any of your moments. Just as all of us, Mondo Lucha is a great time, great atmosphere, great fans, and then of course going to the Vanguard after having drinks with all the boys. Always a good time. Got to talk to guys who we watched. I'm a big fan of Eric Hannon, his promotion First Wrestling, like what he does. He's very smart guy. So like being able to sit down, talk to him for a bit, make jokes with him. I've heard the stories about him teaching Jack to call Val a hussy, like being able to actually talk to him about that. Oh, it was really cool. Just good experience, guys. Like you don't get to see often in locker rooms.
Yeah. I guess that'll segue into my Mondo Lucha experience. Yep. A lot of guys that you don't get to normally see in your normal locker room, guys you don't interact with all the time. I was blessed with Team Turbo getting a shot at the Mondo Lucha tag titles. Danhausen was hurt. Rest well, brother. Hope you get better. And that gave Team Turbo a chance to go ahead and take his spot in the tag team match. He tried to pull a fast one though. He had a backup partner in Warhorse. So it was Warhorse and Goldstein versus Eric Cannon and Darren Corbin versus Team Turbo. You know, a big moment for me. I've never gotten a chance to wrestle any of those other guys. And you know, Eric Cannon is another one that when I was getting into indie wrestling and I was watching the BDWJ 1942 top moves playlist, Eric Cannon was one of those guys that would come up and I would watch his stuff. Darren Corbin is somebody that I used to watch on PPW out in Las Vegas. What cannot be said about Warhorse, and the Goldsteins are legends in Mondo Lucha. So a chance to get to work all those guys was super amazing. You talk about Eric Cannon being smart. Hell yes, he is. Stealing some stuff from him after this past week. But more importantly, the homies Team Turbo, my man Jared Jackson, myself came up with the win, and we are the new Mondo Lucha Tag Team Champions. So very, very exciting. We were promised a title shot years ago. But it was, you know, we finally got our chance and we came through. It was a good moment. And yeah, like Zach said, Mondo Lucha is always a good time. We might have talked about it before. As far as our goals in wrestling, Mondo Lucha was like the first one I had, and it was the first one I was able to get. So it's always a special feeling for me to get a chance to wrestle for them. I'm sure Jay probably thinks I don't care sometimes, but I really do care. I'm just super focused and it can come off weird. But you know, thanks to him and all the Mondo Lucha crew. Thanks to Jim Hollywood and Vanguard for taking care of us afterwards. I rarely get a chance to come kick it, but I got to come kick it for a little bit, and it's always an awesome time. We want our jackets, all right? We understand that we are young and we're not as cool as everybody else, but invest in us. I promise we are deserving of those jackets eventually, but just give it to us now, all right?
I mean, when the time, Jim Hollywood told me when the time comes, we'll know it. I believe, I don't know, one day, winter's here. As long as I have the fourth wall jacket, I'm cool with not getting the other jacket. But what, we ever lose the fourth wall jacket?
Yeah, I'm be at the Vanguard 24/7 knocking. Give me a damn jacket.
Hi, Jim.
Yeah, we love you, Jim. We love you, Jim. Perch, why don't you talk about your Mondo Lucha night? And since you're the only one who had other stuff for the weekend, you can talk about that stuff too.
Yeah, Mondo Lucha was a fun time. Back at the Turner Hall Ballroom for the first time in like a year and a half since the last time we were there. And it was packed wall to wall. Place was going bananas. Was able to be in there for the Royal, which was pretty cool to start things off. It was myself and good old Jer, the man who first gave me that list of 50 things as a referee. So we got a kinship for old Jer.
Yeah.
And the next match was a three-way match: Gringo Loco against Matt Cross against Space Monkey. Mondo Lucha presents matchups like none other. So I get a guy like Matt Cross from Backyard Wrestling back in the day, that video game.
Yep,
Like,
you got the cover.
talk about legend.
Yep.
Straight legend. PS2 Backyard Wrestling. That game was like a holy grail back in the day. And that's like, you know, meeting a Bucky Lassick or a Bob Burnquist from Tony Hawk. It's like, dude, it's a surreal thing. And it was fun at Gringo Loco, you know, killing it. It's just great to work with him in Milwaukee of all places too. And Space Monkey is always wild. And then was blessed to work the main event, which was the Russian, the champion, putting up his title against Dysfunction and Rhino. And McCoy was in the corner of Dysfunction. Good match. They brawled throughout the entire Turner Hall Ballroom. I didn't realize it until right now that in hindsight, it's pretty cool. We're up and down the entire place in an all-out brawl. A cool one to experience. And it did finish after a couple of the tables got busted inside the ring. And it ended in the center of the ring, and the Russian stays the champ. A year and a half ago at Bondo Lucha, I was certainly a bad guy referee, and I got thrown out of the ring for the big old finale and send off. And this time, I was told, Perch, get on in there.
Though the fans did not forget, because I remember you coming out for that battle royal and you getting booed as you walked around the ring.
They certainly gave me the business right off the bat.
Yeah.
And if anyone had any questions, I told them, hey, I just had no rules to enforce that night. A couple of triple threat matches. Give me a set of rules, and we have a whole different story. But on a night like that, there were no rules to be enforced. Therefore, we had our priorities in the matches themselves.
Yep, that makes sense.
Unbelievable time. Bondo Lucha is like the greatest celebration of pro wrestling. When the pound sign celebrate pro wrestling is out there, Bondo Lucha celebrates it like none other. It's great. Kick it back for a quick rewind to the previous week. Happened to work a freelance show that Friday night, and that was asked to do the whole show. There was a student who ended up reffing a couple matches, but would be remiss if I didn't say, going from those opportunities that we helped set up and tear down, and our early days in Chicago helping out just to earn a spot. That Friday night for the freelance show, the Poppy's birthday, was able to referee the whole show in the purple shoes. Purple for freelance.
Hell yeah.
But just one of those wild moments and goal kind of moments. Not that a goal was to ref a whole show like that, but it certainly goes along the lines of setting goals and staying on the right track.
It is a goal
the next night
to know that a company of that stature can rely on you that much.
Yeah. No, straight up. That is the feeling, and those are the goals that go along with short, medium, long term. We want to become assets to any company, and in a pro wrestling, the show will go on. We want to be as valuable and learn as much as we can, so we can provide as much value as we can to a show. And that was a night where the plate was full, and by the end of it, was able to handle it. And you talk about Storm Grayson. Storm had a match against Jordan Oliver that night, and that was just a banger all around. Really enjoyed it. Effie took on Robert Anthony in the main event, going back to even those freelance main events with Robert Anthony against Kylie Ray, or Kylie Ray against Ego. It's just a cool feeling, and Robert Anthony is someone who I always learn from inside the ring. He's a very intense, performer, and demands the best out of you. So I really enjoy our encounters. And the next night was BCW, which I'm sure you guys spoke about, or no, you guys weren't there for it, unfortunately.
No, but did we speak about it? We might not have. Go ahead, Perch. Speak about it.
It was a banger of a show. A fun Thanksgiving. Bruce City Wrestling. I was able to referee a match with CJ Cole, who's learning some lucha shit. Pretty damn cool. Saw his highlights against Jay Manny, and he's continuing to learn more, which is awesome. I like getting in the ring with him. It was him against Salem Crane in a match, and it was good. Salem ended up winning with big old DDT. Then I was asked to do the main event, which was Gunner G Unit Wicks, the one-man Riot Squad, against the luxurious ones, Baxter Belafonte and Matt Boone. A great matchup. I mean, my goodness, if that doesn't say podcast written all over it. At one point in the match, and it was for the title too. So it was pretty cool to see Gunner, I made sure to thank him for the house that night, being on top and all.
Yep.
No, it was awesome. It was cool to walk into a Brew City Wrestling where Gunner was champion. Just a very cool, honor to hold, and he took, full pride and ownership in it. And the match was cool. The main event. At one point, Baxter and Mav got up and they moved, and I got my soul speared out of me. Gunnar Wicks came in with the old one-man riot squad and took me out. And that was it for me. Don't know how the rest of the night went. I really don't know who ended up winning or how it ended. But that was the final match, and I got speared and finale. Still recovering from it. It took me to that podcast last week.
Mav and Baxter are the champions now.
Holy smokes.
Yeah, so things went that way.
Huh. That's outrageous.
Yeah.
Huh. Well, good for them. Good for them, co-champs.
Yeah, co-champs.
All right.
Yeah.
All
We
right.
got a podcast.
Stays within the podcast.
Yeah, podcast full of champs right now.
Oh, that's awesome. And then, after, being murdered, that took me out. I did show up out of state the next day for a lucha show. If a title has to change hands, let it be out of country. If a ref gets murdered, let him show up on a lucha show in Indiana. Where I was asked to ref the whole show again to close out the weekend. And by the end of it, we had no voice. The Sociedad Boricua, J Manny, Chuco, and Axorico threw me against the corner at one point, and I hit him with a springboard crossbody. It was pretty outrageous for that crowd, and they loved it. And then at the end, Hurricane Jr. Had me do a sunset flip, and I pinned and got the victory. However, the Rudos came and beat me up right after, and I was able to get in there for a pin count at the end. However, they whopped my nose pretty good.
Oh, no.
It was a fun weekend, a fun start of the week, and Ricky Marvin and Mecha Wolf were in that match, and cool to work with Ricky in particular. I know that you've been working with him, Dre, and getting experience. Just a cool mind to have and experience to brush shoulders with.
Definitely.
And then the last show of the week was just last Friday. AAW had the Windy City Classic in Chicago, and that was a very, very fun show. I was able to work the women's 4-way match for the number 1 contender, which had Sierra in it. We got to open the pay-per-view with Sierra.
Yep.
That was pretty cool. I felt pure Milwaukee. I went and I leaned over to Martin from Wrestling with Unicorns, and I went, "Here comes my favorite moment of the night." And right then, Sierra's music hits, and boom, Milwaukee.
Yep. Shout out to our senpai doing big things everywhere. Looked like
it was cool.
It. She was all over the place that night, it looked like.
And then the women's championship match was AK-47 against Sky Blue, and great match all around. Sliced bread for a close one, sit down power bomb for a close one, and all of a sudden, dude, talk about Milwaukee. Here comes Joey Jett out of nowhere, wielding a shovel in the women's match. I told him, not so kindly to GTFO. And through pictures, I see something happened and Sierra got involved. But I don't get paid to see those kinds of things.
Oh, yeah.
But how cool Wisconsin being represented. Sky Blue picked up the victory. You may see some clips. I enjoyed the little slide pin into there. It was a cool technique that I've been working on. And, and a cool victory for Sky.
Hey, go ahead. Put yourself over. Ain't nothing wrong with it, baby. When you do something, like, what have we been taught? When you do something cool, tell everybody about it.
You can see it just on the glimpse of one of the unicorns clips of the sliding pin for that finale after the code red, code blue.
Okay. I'll double check
Um,
that one. I don't think I remember specifically.
It was definitely a worked on something that was drawn up a while back and able to be executed. And then the men's 4-way match for the number 1 contender, Brody King, a guy who Trey, you and I were able to work with inside the ring for Ring of Honor with for a little bit. That one day in St. Louis, and just an awesome presence, just a monster. However, just a teacher. If you're willing to learn, he's there for you.
Yep, he was very helpful that day.
Yeah, yeah, he was. It was him against Josh Alexander, and they had a good square off against Rich Swann, against Davey Vega, and a good 4-way match. Rich Swann ended up coming away the victor. And then the finale of the night was Fred Yehai putting up the championship against Matt Fitchett, and Fred Yehai ended up getting pinned in what was probably a 20-minute, just hard-hitting, brutal, bruising pro wrestling match. To look back to that Red Death against Eddie Kingston match, that's kind of an AAW style match. And the Matt Fitchett and Fred Yehai match was very hard hitting, and Fitchett came away the victor. He won the tournament last month and won the championship this month. So a fun week of pro wrestling.
Hell yeah. No, yep, I did see some of those clips. So check out Wrestling with Unicorns. I saw a bunch of the pictures. Check out the Homie Camera Guy gimmick. It was on a couple weeks ago. You want to see all that?
Landers almost kill himself.
You saw Manders almost kill himself?
Landers.
Oh, I mean, yeah. Check out the clips from that ladder match because it looks like everybody almost kills himself. But yeah, definitely Landers.
Ladder match.
Yeah.
Everyone was safe by the end of it, but definitely beaten up.
I can imagine. And I just want to say, as an employee of the depot, I saw some people shitting on depot ladders. Those are like the cheap ladders. All right, first off. Okay. Those are some of our cheapest ladders. Those are some heavy ass men. Like, I think those only have like a load of like 400 pounds. Like, it's not much. Like, shut the fuck up. Yeah, it's like I'm offended. I'm also bothered that I'm offended by those posts. All right, but
Proud of your letters.
yeah, no, yeah, but yeah, everybody, yeah, especially Lander, looked like they murdered themselves in that ladder match. Go watch that ladder match, and also invest in better ladders. But why don't we just move on to the question that I posed to the group? I only posted before we started recording because I wanted to see what was coming on, because I was kind of going to dictate it. And since all three of us are here and all three of us did Bondo Lucha last week, I thought it'd be very cool to do a Bondo Lucha question. And my question was, if you could have a Mondo Lucha pop-up show anywhere in the world, where would that be? I will go ahead and go first. And for me, that is going to have to be in, I believe it's part of DC, but it might just be Northern Virginia, but that would have to be the auditorium at Howard University. It is a historic venue. It has that ballroom feel of Turner Ballroom, but it's just bigger. It's got more of a classical light feel instead of like the clubby band feel that Turner has. But I just think you know, a show on the East Coast would be good. And that's one of my favorite kind of like ballroom venues out there.
Hell yeah, that would be a cool theme, and especially to bring it out to the East Coast too.
Yeah.
I mean, that's such a good flavor of what Mondo brings,
Yep.
and to see an East Coast crowd and to experience that would be awesome.
All right. How about you, Perch? What do you got?
You know, when you mentioned it, the first thing that came to mind was, you know, like in a city landscape, but then, you know, like a downtown, or, you know, like we've done shows before right downtown. However, I had the feeling that like on a beach would be pretty damn cool too, and to have a beach atmosphere. And let's put it out to the West Coast, out San Diego way. Give me Ocean Beach or Pacific Beach, one of the two, OB or PB. But right on a boardwalk out there. Just good vibes, great times, good weather, probably 75 degrees and a nice humid night. Yeah, would love it. Out San Diego on the beach.
All right. Yeah, no, yeah, beach vibe would be dope. Beach vibe would be dope. I'm sure Jay and them would kill it. Zach, what do you got?
When you brought this up, I think of Mondo Lucha being a big party, big celebration. You know, and one of the best places I've ever been in my life that was a big party, big celebration. I mean, it was New Orleans. So I think doing it on Bourbon Street in the street, had the locker room be like an upper deck, but just enter through a bar and just literally have a wrestling show in the middle of Bourbon Street would be
Yeah,
I think
that'd be
model of
wild.
Bourbon Street in New Orleans would be something else.
Yeah. Yeah, that would be wild. That would be crazy. That's a good one.
Yeah, that's where I always like picture like a Mondo Lucha show. Like, would be so fun to have. Like any wrestling show would be really fun to be like in the middle of Bourbon Street.
But yeah, but specifically Mondo on Bourbon Street would probably be
Mondo with the burlesque dancers, with the concerts. Like, I think it would just fit right in.
No, that's a good one. That's a good one. Yeah. Wonder how much that would run. That's a good one. I like that.
Now that I'm a tag champ, he's gonna drop the belt on Jay's off, and we go to Bourbon.
Yeah. Yeah. Like that's a good one. I would enjoy that. I think everybody would enjoy that. But yeah, that was good. Hey, we brightly ended on the best one. So why don't we just move on and talk about what we got coming up this week? Why don't we start, Zach?
Yeah, we can start. So this weekend, myself and Doc Simmons are once again, no offense to Wisconsin, but we're leaving the state.
Yep.
We're going to be heading out this Friday down to Terre Haute.
Not sure yet, but somewhere in secret location in Indiana.
Secret ninja location in Indiana.
Yep. We will be helping out
with Paradigm Wrestling, a spot where both Doc and I are hoping to get to. They have a little bit more of that shooter style wrestling, where we want to go and kind of test our limits and see how good we are. But going out, helping out as usual, trying to earn that opportunity. And then from there, we're gonna be making our way to I forget the town. Where's 01 at?
Mattoon, Illinois.
Was that the same spot was that last time?
I believe so.
We're going back to Mattoon, Illinois for 01 USA, where your mama's favorite tag team were booked in a fatal 4-way tag match.
Yes, sir. Against DC Black. It's like Jean-Pierre Paul and the Prodigy CMC and Waylon Beck and God, I knew I'd forget one of them. Waylon Beck and one moment. Dallas Taylor. Kendall Beck and Dallas Taylor. Why did I say Waylon Beck? Who's Waylon Beck? In the comments, tell me who Waylon Beck is. But yes, Kendall Beck and Dallas Taylor, JPP and the Prodigy CMC, DC Black and Country Air in a 4-way tag match. Last month we were there.
Last month we were there. Last month we did take on 2 of the 3 tag teams of wrestling. We were knocked out by one of the guys, and the other team was able to capitalize. This month, I feel like we're going to have the advantage. We don't study tape for no reason. So
Yep.
We expect to win.
Definitely. Yep. Expect a very different result this time. Should be an awesome match though. So if you can make it down to Mattoon, make it down to Mattoon. And I know Paradigm is selling tickets to their super secret tapings. So check their Twitter page for information.
Yes, sir. Perch, what do you got?
This Friday night, we're going to be up in Oshkosh, Wisconsin for ACW. It's their anniversary show. Going to be a good time. Always a fun time to make it up to the Swago and Colucci promotion. Really enjoy the crowd up there. The ring is always a beauty and a great crew. Maybe I can question Joey Jett and see what he and Sierra were up to in the picture of the shenanigans happening.
Hey, what the fuck is this?
What happened here? What is this?
Trial. Trial.
What I heard, I thought Doug was just trying to talk to you about the Packer game, and you're telling me it's the wrong time.
Yeah, it was just a good time though, good crew, and I always like working those shows, and the referees up there are always fun too. And then Saturday we got Freelance Underground at the brewery again, Church Street Brewery. Kelvin Tankman going to be in action. Monix against Matt Nix is the big kind of blood feud that's going on. That's going to be on IWTV. Yeah, that's the weekend of events, and looking forward to it.
Hell yeah. Should be a fun one. So like we said, make sure you follow us on all the social medias, follow the promotions that book us and the promotions that we help out at. It'll be awesome. All right. Zach, any final thoughts or questions?
With us just having Thanksgiving last Thursday, I know some of us, unfortunately, had to hold down home fronts and didn't do Thanksgiving like they usually do. But when you do Thanksgiving with your family, what is your favorite thing that your family makes?
I'm a fan of Southern style dressing, aka wet stuffing.
Oh, Yeah, I'm a big fan. My uncle Ken makes some of the best stuffing there is. Mine would either be my uncle Ken's stuffing or my mom's deviled eggs.
Deviled eggs are good. Deviled eggs are good. Perch.
Big fan of the rolls. Rolls on top of rolls.
Yeah.
Mashed potatoes are good. I love potatoes, but yeah, I'll take down a basket of rolls for sure.
Oh,
And
yep.
butter. Yeah, butter on a roll. Yep, straight up.
Yes, Perch loves his bread. Tomorrow's Tuesday. All right. Perch, any final thoughts or questions?
Yeah, final thought. There was a cool GCW video that came out, like a highlight video done to the old ECW music on the Twitter space, and there was a clip where Rena against Atticus, and the poke and the skewers and the noggin, and I made it onto to the clip, and just a cool vibe of pro wrestling. And every company has its own vibe and its own style, and that GCW style right now is, harkens back to old school ECW, and touring around the country, and even down, out of country, I imagine, in the future. Is there a company that you guys have that you really like the vibe and the style, and just the if it were a VHS of this company, what separates it apart? Yeah, what's one for you guys?
I mean, right now, just maybe because it just happened, loving Mondo Lucha. Would love it if Mondo Lucha was on VHS tapes that could, be distributed. If we're talking probably a more realistic one that I've always enjoyed the vibe of, is going to be Championship Wrestling from Hollywood. And just like all their affiliates, I've always enjoyed the vibe of those shows. It's always a Championship Wrestling from Hollywood or Atlanta or Memphis or Arizona but just
the Championship Wrestling series.
yeah,
A showcase of them.
The showcase of them wherever they are. Louisiana is another one. Ever since I found them, always like. I don't know. It's weird because they're never like I would say like, oh, this is my absolute favorite wrestling program, but it's like the perfect just throw on. I don't have to pay full attention, but I know whatever I catch, I'm going to enjoy. It's my comfort wrestling. My comfort wrestling. Like you have your comfort.
Yep, the comfort wrestling.
Yeah. It's my comfort wrestling. So if that's definitely a goal to work for any one of those companies. So yeah, that one.
Yeah.
Allison Lee from Memphis, Championship Wrestling from Memphis.
Yes,
I've been able to work with at AAW the past couple times. An awesome lady, and a cool referee. She's got a cool future. A student just like us.
Mm-hmm.
Was she the one that we met at 01?
Yep, she was the one that was supposed to ref our match.
Yeah, super nice, super great.
We had great referee conversations, and just good in-depth, about the role of the referee, and it's cool to explore the ideas of what we do. Much like wrestlers, referees like to do the same any chance we get.
Good.
Zach, is there a company for you?
Yeah, I would agree with Doc with Mondo, but if I had to pick one like kind of different, when I first got into wrestling, like independent wrestling, I was always a fan of watching freelance like at Logan Square. Always a big fan of freelance. So like, I guess I'm gonna have to say freelance. I've always just been a big fan of that. You can tell like the fans are loyal. They know the homegrown talent. They're just anytime you're at a freelance show, the crowd's super in. Anytime you have a hot crowd and a good atmosphere, like it just makes pro wrestling a lot better. So great production value. Clearly, freelance has great wrestlers. I mean, look at all their talent. They're just super athletics. They do crazy stuff. So, yeah, I would say freelance underground. Not freelance underground, freelance. Oh, fuck it, both. That could be on one VH.
Yeah, no, absolutely. A great brand, and associate them with kind of that purple and teal. Just they really market themselves, or create that atmosphere, that vibe, with the dimmed lights and that spotlight. It creates such a cool environment, and especially with the Logan Square Auditorium, awesome spot to experience it. That Chicago crowd is wild, especially for their independence. And freelance really taps into it. That would be a cool one to have. Imagine like a black case VHS with like the skull logo on it.
Oh yeah. I like to imagine the VHS tapes would be like like Nickelodeon always had orange tapes. I like to imagine that Freelance Underground would have that like a green, or that green color. Maybe green. Yes. And then be cool.
Yeah, no, that would be cool. Yeah, one that I would choose, that I like is going right now, is the AAW Alive, the Alive series. It's really a lot of up and comers, and old school wrestling, just simple storytelling, building up people. That I like, building up matches that build to a main event, or a card that the matches all build up to something. And the Alive series is a fun one. You get people from all over, and usually pretty quick matches, but storytelling is key. Those get in and tell your story, and proceed.
Yep.
A fun show to watch.
Definitely. Yep. Yeah. Live has been good. All the homies are on it, so watch it. Support our friends. We like our friends. You like our friends. All right. If nobody has anything else, I think we can go ahead and take this on home. All right. This has been the Take It Home podcast. Y'all be easy. 1.